All right, Fiberistas. Okay, I'm trying something totally new right now. I am going to try and simulcast on Facebook at the same time. Hey, Facebook. Okay, I'm trying to do the simulcast where I'm on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And I'm going to share with you guys my weaving. I'm doing live weaving today. Oops, and I just lost my thing. All right. This is probably gonna, this might not be a good idea. We'll find out. All right. So, anyway, today I'm gonna share with you some live weaving. I'm getting ready to do my, class for embellishments. And what I want to do is prepare some pieces. I was going to have that class go live, the registration today, but it's not ready to go live today. So, the registration. The class will happen on May 31st, but usually I do pre-registration 2 weeks in advance. So this time it's going to happen on a Friday instead of Wednesday, but I'll send out an email and post to all the social medias and everything like that. All right, so I'm live casting on Facebook as well as YouTube today. We're going to try and see how this works out. And I'm not sure if it is, but hold on. I'm going to see if I can get to where the live cast is on Facebook so I can check comments, because once I set, here we go. All right, because once I set this camera down, then I can't see the comments on my phone. All right, so first what I wanted to do is share with you guys, I know on Facebook I posted a picture, but on YouTube I finally finished, oops, I finally finished this piece. And I'll post a link to the picture in somehow on YouTube. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Anyway, but on Facebook you guys have seen this picture on my page. But I finally finished her, and as a matter of fact, as I finished her, it just so happened that there was a call for entries for a gallery in Durham. So fingers crossed I submitted it. This is my first weaving art piece that I've actually submitted to a gallery. So we'll see what happens. All right, so today we're weaving. And what I want to do is I need a bunch of like smallish pieces, kind of like, let me show you. I've got like this kind of smallish piece, and I've got these are really small. These are going to be like a little bag, but I need some little pieces to add embellishments to. And I've got a long piece, but generally embellishments I save. Whoop, I'm trying to keep the camera out of the camera. So I'm trying to, the embellishments I usually do on smaller pieces and not necessarily on long, like wearable pieces. So anyway, so today I'm going to be weaving on my little loom and making some stuff that's going to be good for embellishments, and I'm getting that ready because I'm doing a bunch of demos. The embellishments class is going to be a little different from the art yarns class, because the embellishments class is going to be a bunch of little techniques that you can kind of go and like check out, little bite-sized pieces. It's not something that you have to go in order. It's not a sequence. It's just a bunch of ideas, and hopefully it'll spark ideas for your own stuff. Anyway, but the pre-registration for that's going to go live on Friday. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to set this camera down, switch this camera around. I can see comments for Facebook, I think. I'm not sure. Okay. I can see comments for Facebook. I can see comments for YouTube. Hello, hello, those people on YouTube. And I am going to switch the camera around. All right, so let me get this set up here. All right, so you can see my loom Facebook. And now I'm setting up so you can see my loom YouTube. Yay! All right, so here we go. I'm weaving. And I'm just going to weave a few pieces. And let me tell you too, You know, I start off with this toilet paper going on here, and that's because it separates this warp out really nicely. You can see here how the warp's not terribly separated out, but the toilet paper, you know, a lot of people use things like cotton yarn or something not as ghetto as toilet paper, but toilet paper's cheap and I always have it on hand, so I think it's a good solution. And it's squishy enough to where it kind of holds that warp separated into place. Also too, what I'm not going to do, which I usually do on my wearable pieces, is I'm not going to do a hem stitch across the bottom because I kind of like, let's see if you can see on this piece, I kind of like doing this thing, especially with the way I've been working lately, where the ends, where it starts to kind of unravel just a little bit, and I actually kind of like that. So I'm going to kind of go with that. So usually if I'm doing like a scarf or something, I'll weave a few rows and then go back and do a hem stitch, and I'm not going to be doing that today. Alright, so I'm just going to start the weaving. And I'm doing there's no set plan. I'm just going to start throwing some stuff down. Mostly because most of this stuff is really, I'm just making some samples for, no, you know what, I'm going to start with something that kind of matches this gold color. Samples for, I'm doing samples for my class. So the pieces, I want the ends to be kind of longish, the fringe to be kind of longish, and then the piece itself is not going to be terribly long. And I've warped the loom with the intention of having maybe 3 or 4 pieces. Alright, so let's start with this kind of, yeah, this will work, this kind of gold color. So, and since I'm doing several pieces, I'm just not going to stress about it too much. Alright, and I'm going to leave myself, well, not too much. Like I said, I'm not going to really tie it off. Anyway, is your warp twine or yarn? It's actually, Deb, it's actually like a cotton, it's like a cotton weaving yarn, but it's oldish. I think I got it from like the Millen table at Earth Guild like years ago. You know, I had gotten, you know, I tell you, my collection of weaving yarn all came from looking for stuff to do core spinning all over. And so since the mill ends at Earth Guild were pretty cheap, they usually came out to be about $6 a cone. So I would just go there on my lunch break when I used to work downtown and just pick up a bunch. So this is just like a cotton, and it's this kind of weird straw golden color. Alright. So, hi, the warp color looks gorgeous. It's like a pale gold. Yeah, it is. It's kind of, it's like a straw color. It's really cool. Oh, you know what? Look at this. I'm gonna have to be mindful of this end warp, because every now and again when I warp my loom, I warp it and the end yarn somehow it defies logic of when I warp it. Sometimes I have to be mindful of making sure to weave in that end a little bit. Let's make sure I'm gonna, alright. One day I'll figure out why it does that when I warp. It's either like an odd number or an even number that I miss or something like that. So anyway, yay. Alright, so Deb, Holly, Christiane. Hey Christiane! Oh my goodness. I can't wait to hear how Maryland Sheep and Wool went. I bet it was awesome. Alright. And on this side, can you guys see? Hiya. Okay, I'm not. Hey, watching you on my TV. Wonderful, Patricia. All right. For some reason, I'm not seeing the comments. Why? Oh, swipe left. Swiping left. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry. I have my iPad set up so where I can see the comments right next to the comments for the YouTube. So this is the first time I'm trying to simulcast to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. So I've been doing some Facebook lives, but nothing like this. All right, I'm just gonna do a little bit of this gold down here. And again, I'm trying to make some nice foregrounds. Fabulous on TV. You're in Spain. Oh, what time is it in Spain? Is it like 3? So it would be like 8 o'clock over in Spain? 9 o'clock? I'm not even sure. I know like in Australia it's like 3 in the morning. I never get people from Australia on my live casts because it's a crazy time of night. All right. So yeah, okay, so what I'm trying to do is make like a foreground of some textures that I'm going to, or not too textural, but a foreground that I'm going to use to put in, to demonstrate some embellishment techniques on. And embellishments, what I mean by embellishments is that kind of stuff that you do after the weaving is done. You know what? I don't want to do that. I don't know. I think I'm going to be okay with that. Like, let me show you. Like, for instance, on this one, I went back and did some. Let's see if I can show you down here. On here, I did some embroidery on this piece here. Let me see if I have an example. I don't think I have my example of anything else. Oh wait, let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you see in here, I added a patch on this piece. So I'm going to go into like a bunch of different ideas that you can do after you're done weaving, but being mindful that you might add stuff to things later, and some ideas that you can pimp out your weaving with to make it really interesting. Oh, look at this blue next to that. That's going to be cool. Yay! So did you dye your weft yarn? It's 9 p.m. in continental Europe. Oh, okay. Wow. Do you ever use crochet thread 10 for warp? You know, I haven't used crochet thread for warp. And this is a question from YouTube. And Patricia says it is 9:09. Okay, why am I not seeing those comments here, Patricia? Let me see. I must have swiped. Oh, anyway, all right. So do I ever dye my... I haven't used the cotton crocheted thread for warp 10. I'm not even sure what 10 is. I'm assuming that maybe that's a thicker crochet yarn. And I did not dye this weft yarn. But did you dye? No. This came this color. So I didn't dye it. Or dye the... Yes, I did dye that. Sorry, I'm getting confused. I didn't dye the warp yarn. I dyed the gold, this gold weft yarn, but I didn't dye this blue weft yarn. This is, I believe, Art Yarns. That's the brand name. Art Yarns, Irish Schreier. Gosh, Schreier, I think. This was from her, I believe. So yes, some of my weft yarns, like, it just depends. I've been trying to use a lot of my hand spun. Like this is, I have a ton of this white, off-white, natural colored hand spun. And what happens whenever I get a new fleece, I'll wash up a little bit of it and then spin just like a single, just to see how it spins up. So I have a ton of these, but this is starting to look really cool on in my weaving, because I've been kind of leaning towards a lot of neutral colors with locks and stuff. And then I have, you know, this was a test spin of a fin fleece. It was a tricolor fin, and so this was some of the darker color of that. And then this is, I don't even know, this is definitely a hand carded bat that I did as a 2-ply. So it just varies. I mean, you can see this is my popsicle. Let me see if I can show you guys. See, this is my popsicle stick stash, and so this is like a really old hand dyed, like really old. And this is an old hand dyed. This is a hand spun from some roving I dyed. This is another one. I mean, but then I have things like, you know, here's some of my sari. Oh, you know what? That's going to look good. I'm going to hold that out. Some sari silk. But then I have things like, you know, this. I mean, this is a glittery novelty yarn that I got from somewhere. So, anyway. So, and then I've got, oh, look, this is some sari ribbon. I mean, I've got all kinds of, oh, this is another, this is crazy. This stuff I got actually from Target, believe it or not, years ago. If you check out the dollar section in Target, once in a blue moon you'll get some crazy yarn that actually is really good for like this kind of weaving. All right, so back to this. I'm going to put these back in here. All right, let's see if there's any more questions. All right, I'm trying to see if I can see. For some reason, I'm not seeing the comments unless I look over towards swipe left reveal. Oh, there we go. All the technology. Okay, I'm back at it. I'm focusing. I gotta focus. Okay, focusing. So yes. So the embellishments class. So yeah. So I'm trying to get a little bit of woven in just some smallish pieces that I can go back and add all kinds of embellishments to, and it's going to be demos that I'm doing for that class. And that class, the pre-registration's going live on Friday. I know I usually have been doing the pre-registrations on Wednesday, but I was not able to get my shit together and have it ready for today. But it will be ready on Wednesday. And I'll send out an email and put announcements on all social media. So, there you have it. So I'm just doing some kind of, and I don't want to get too wild with the textures on this. I'm just going to do kind of like, if you've watched that video where I do the demo, it's from about 4 years ago, where I'm sitting on my balcony in Asheville and I do a art weaving demo. It's similar to that. I'm just going to do some, you know, weaving in the moment with the colors that kind of feel right, and then I'm going to go back in that embellishments class and add things to add composition and texture and interest through embellishments. So that's what we're working on today. Is anybody weaving with me? Or are we just watching? That's fine. You can just watch if you want. But I tell you, Christiane of Three Ravens and I, we did this spin along right before she went to Maryland Sheep and Wool, and we're talking about doing more of that. So we're going to get our schedule together, and I'll give you guys a heads up. I'm going to do some more spin along and maybe some card along and all kinds of other fun stuff. Alright. Yeah, I think I want this section to be kind of big, but you know what? Maybe I want it to be big, but I need to add something else in there. I'm thinking I need to add that little blue flag yarn right in there, just for giggles. I'll do a couple more rows of this. I've been thinking about that nonstop. Yes, yes, Christiane, I know, right? Whenever I know that you had some classes and getting back from Maryland Sheep and Wool, but we'll talk. We'll talk, girlfriend. We'll get it going. I'm ready. It's going to be fun. And now that I have my studio reorganized, now this was interesting because I had to figure out this setup for weaving in the studio, because you know this whole computer setup used to be on the other side of the room. But you know, I mean the other side of the room is still real workable as far as you know, space to do stuff. It's just a matter of I need both cams and evidently my phone, because I'm doing the simulcast thing to Facebook and YouTube. So maybe I'll figure it out. But I spent most of the afternoon before this testing the setup and seeing if I could do this simulcast. And seeing how I need to got me super inspired. Oh, I can't wait to hear about that. Oh, girl, let's talk. Let's talk before this weekend and see when we can get back on. That is going to be exciting. Anyway, so yeah, train of thought gone. Okay, I'm adding this. This is what I'm doing. Just one little strand. I said I wasn't going to add texture. Now I'm eating my words. This is just going to be minor texture. Oh, do I want to... Yeah, I think I'm just going to do a light thing here. Alright, so yeah, once I got this set up here, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do it across. Now I know for my live cast with Christiane, where we do that spin along, I really think that that's going to be, I'll be able to do that just with the camera over in that space. But when I'm having to deal with the computer and the cam setup for YouTube, I kind of need to be in front of the computer, because that's where my control panel is for YouTube, is on the computer. So see, now that added just a little bit of something. Not sure if it's much of something, but something. And that baby blue, which I think looks really cool with this gold color. Yeah, that's a little something. Do a few more rows like this. Hello from Norfolk, England. Well, hey, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us. Stephanie is on Facebook. See, and now for some reason I'm still not seeing these comments. Oh. I'll figure it out. I can see it if I look at my phone, but for some reason they're not showing up on the thing. Loving those colors together. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, that kind of dusty gold and this baby blue. I'm digging it myself. Of course, past that, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll go neutral and let this blue be the highlight. That's a good idea. I'm going to do a couple more rows of this and add another one of some of this, I think. I think I'm going to have to advance the warp a little bit. into frame. All right, keep on weaving. Oh, maybe that was too tight. Yeah, that might be too tight. Loosen it just one notch. There we go. Reminds me of the sea. Yeah, right? That the little bit of, especially when I look at it on the camera, you can see that little bit of color shift. Yeah, I'm craving a beach trip. Maybe that's why I'm starting out with the sand color and this blue, because I am craving a beach trip like there's no tomorrow. Too loose. I have to tighten that again. Okay, let's see. There. I think that's a little better. I still haven't warped my floor loom. I had to get busy with making these samples, but that yarn is picked out, so hopefully I'll find time between now and Monday to wind that warp up and get something on that floor loom so I can have that to work on in between working on this class stuff. There. All right. Okay. Just a hair. Beat it into place. Alright, and then I'm just going to do a few more rows of this, and then I'm going to move on to whatever that next color is going to be. And you know what? Maybe that next color is going to be a strand of this. Because there's a little bit, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of bluish green, and it has this kind of color that's almost sand color, but it's kind of on the peachy side of that sand color. So I might add some of that in there, just for a little glitz. I'm keeping track of the time. Connection isn't good. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks like on my end it's a little on the fuzzy side too. So it could very well be. You know, they had there were cable guys outside, Patricia, that were working on what I'm imagining is the internet connection, because whenever they're out here at that little thing. Yay! Cynthia, I'm glad you caught us live. Yay! Yeah, they were working on the cable, so sometimes, and they've been fighting. You know, it's been weird because our connection's been kind of weird on and off for a while. Let me see what it says here. No, it says this is good. Yeah, sometimes it cycles on and off a little bit with the connection, but I think it's because they need to come down and beef up the connection. They've been building more housing in my area, in my neighborhood, and they're going for high density. I live in a real high density area, so I don't think that when they laid the initial cable for the internet that they had anticipated that so many people would be tapping in. And when I called to get something fixed not too long ago, I guess the guy from wherever he was looking at the system, and he's like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people plugged into your internet. And I was like, yeah, it's because there's a lot of people in the neighborhood. So, you know, come fix that. All right, I'm going to cut and go with another row or two of something else. All right. Tuck that in. Let's see. I'm just going to do not a lot of glitz, just maybe like a row or so. I'm going to put that, overlap those ends, feed into place. Okay. Alright, I need to pick another color. You know what? Let me look. Let me get my little, let's see. I've got a little basket here. Make sure you guys can both see my basket. Let's see. Oh, you know what? This could be interesting. Okay. I'm going to take it to that little orange end almost, with a little bit of purple. All right. And that's going to give another, it's a little thicker than what I have been using, so that'll be interesting. I'll do but just a few rows of that, because you can see there's a little contrast between this, which is really light, which is, you know, kind of a fingering weight. It's like two little pieces of mohair, but it comes to fingering weight, and then this is bulky, thick and thin kind of texture here. So yeah, I think we're going to stop it just after that, because I think that's a little thicker than I had intended it to be. All right. Pull that back over. I'm wondering if this, I think that's too busy. I need something not as, ooh, but look at this. This is interesting. Oops. This is a hand-spun 2-ply that I have, and it's kind of going to pick up this color here and then relate back to this color here. So I think I'm going to add that, and it's more of a fingering weight, but I need to overlap it here. Okay. Oh yeah, I like how that's looking. See, I don't know if you guys can see the color. The color's similar, but it's not as bulky of a texture. So, But you know what I think I'm gonna do, since who's saying? The barefoot spinner, since you were saying it reminds you of the sea. I agree, it reminds me of the sea too. So I think I'm going to use this piece to show off some embellishments related to that idea. And I think part of what I'm going to do too is leave some open space. So let me do this. I'm going to finish off this bit here. Take this in. That into place, and then I'm going to advance this warp just a little bit and leave this warp showing here. All right, there's that. Okay. Let's see. Alright, and then I'm going to begin this again back up here and just leave this little open area. Leave this end here. You see I'm just going over this end yarn here. Alright, and then beat it just to line it up. Go. See, then that's going to leave that little open space right here. I've got to leave for now, but I'll catch the replay. All right, Chris, we'll talk. We'll talk more about our spin along. Yeah, sometimes watching weaving's like watching paint dry. I try to keep it interesting, but sometimes it just is what it is. Now, you know what I'm going to do though? I am going to take my comb and I'm going to push this up, because that bottom weft thread is falling down just a little bit. All right, there's that. I think that's going to be enough of that color. Alright. Let's see what else we can add in here. Ooh, here we go. This. And I don't have this wound onto a thing. Or do I? Maybe I do. Wait, hold on. Or maybe I have a smaller bit of this. Here's a little bit of it. You know what? I'm going to start off with a little bit of this, because that looks like sea foam to me. And then I'm going to, let's see, let me double check and make sure I don't have a thing wound of this stuff. I am not seeing one. Okay, I'm gonna have to nope, I don't think I do. Okay, I can wind it on top of this orange. But first I'm gonna do, you know what, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a couple rows of this first. I'm late. No, you're not late. And it's I've been here for a little while, so you're good. Marilyn's on YouTube. All right. Let's see. Nope, I want to do it this way. Nope, that's right. I want to do it this way. Okay. Across. I'm going over that end warp thread and back across. There we go. What size reed are you using? Stephanie on Facebook is asking what size reed I'm using. I'm using a 7.5 DPI, and that's dents per inch. And this is, it's like a 7-inch weaving width, I think. Do I have a ruler here? I think I do. Hold on. Oh, maybe I don't. Yeah, this is it's a 7.5 DPI. And I'm using that one. Usually, you know, I only have two. I have this one and then I have my art yarn one. But this one I found is really good for if I'm using anything close to like sock yarn for my warp. To advance that a little bit. It's getting hard to, of course I'm doing this trying to just without a stick, just to finger manipulate that weft across. It's probably not the most efficient way to do that for sure. I'm going to advance that warp just a little bit. Thank you. Is it an Ashford loom? Yes, it is an Ashford samplet loom. And I want to say this width here is 7 inches. So I think total this is probably like 10, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, a little Ashford samplet loom. Just going to do that one little end, and then I'm going to use that fat yarn across. Let's see. So I've got this big bubbly stuff. this. All right, I'm going to cut it here. All right. You know what? I think I'm going to go back and do a little bit of this instead, because there's a lot going on in this little section. So to get a little breather with some plain yarn would be nice. But I'm going to do it across this way first and overlap those ends like so. There we go. Alright. Now, I think, here's what I'm going to do. You know, I should have, if I was a smart cookie, I would have tied a little piece of cotton string right where my weaving started so I could measure. Let's see how long we've got so far. Alright, that's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to continue. Working with this. Not a lot, I don't think. I don't know. I think it just needed a little break from all that multicolor right through there. Okay. Alright, well, you know what, a part of me wants to stop there, but now I've got this thing where this, and this are almost all the same width, and that drives me nuts. So I'm going to keep going with this color a little bit. And you know what, I think if I get this big foreground of this plain blue, then that's going to be a perfect place for me to put an embellishment. Alright. And that's okay. Because that's the whole plan. That's the whole reason why we're doing this. Alright. Alright, let me check and see. I'm double checking my comments as I'm going. Okay, we're good here. And I'm checking over here. See, now this is interesting, is that I'm doing this simulcast. Although I think it might be causing, I'm not sure. I'm wondering if that's why my internet connection is not as good as it could be. That could be a problem. I'll have to go back and check. That might be a big problem. I don't know. On the YouTube, is the internet connection iffy? It looks like it might be a little on the grainy side. I mean, my my thing says it's good, but on the YouTube, but that's never really a great indicator. It's excellent here on Facebook. Okay, good. Awesome. Thanks, Stephanie. On Facebook says that the connection is good. All right. Then maybe this works. Okay. Okay, I think we're getting to where that's a little... I'm going to do a couple more rows of this because it's starting to, you see it's starting to be a little wider than any of these three. I kind of wish I'd been paying a little more attention because these three are so the same. But, you know, to break that up, what I might end up doing is doing some kind of embellishment there, and that will break up that line a little bit. So we'll see. It's all about composition. All right. A couple more, maybe two more rows. Two more rows, that's it. Two more rows. It looks beautiful from here. Well, good, yay, thank you. It's good by me. Awesome. Awesome, good, 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 good. I'm glad the internet's working on both ends. Now, of course, if my husband was here and watching a movie or something, that might be too taxing on the internet connection. But he's not, so there it is. Okay. Alright, so there's that. Alright, we're coming up on an hour, so let me switch this around. Oh, and I'm going to grab this. Alright, guys. So that's it. We're coming up on an hour, and I'm going to close it out now. But there it is. That's me getting ready for the embellishments class. That's going to go, the pre-registration is going to go live on Friday. And of course, with all my pre-registrations for class, I always have a coupon code for those of you guys who pre-register before the class opens. And the coupon code is usually just pre-sale. And that's what that's what I set up for this time. So that'll get you 20% off of that class if you pre-register. Class is going to go live on May 31st. It's all about embellishments. I'm going to teach you how to trick out your weaving after you pull it off the loom to make it into like art, adding composition and really sick textures. So there you have it. And that's it. Thanks for joining me, and yay for my first simulcast to Facebook and YouTube. We might try this again next time. All right. So thanks for joining. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Gotta figure out how to close this one out.